Yeah.
I find it extremely weird to park in front of people's houses. Because, okay, in North Carolina, that's a no-no. If you want somebody to come out and cuss your butt out,
Yeah.
park in front of their house.
Yeah.
Even though it's not illegal, it's weird. But it's not weird here in California.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our next episode of Home in Motion. I'm Leanne.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we're going to be talking about our day trip down to Sebastopol, California. And for those of you that aren't very familiar with California geography, it's a small town about 10 miles down the road from us in Santa Rosa. And the census is less than 10,000, but there were still plenty of things for us to do, even though it's a smaller town. Sebastopol started back when the gold rush happened and everyone was kind of moving out and migrating to the West Coast. And over time has just kind of grown and developed. What they're known for, fun fact, is that they're the Gravenstein apple capital of the world. And they actually have a festival during the summertime or a fair over a couple of days. If you have never tried it, I would recommend checking it out because that's kind of what they're known for. And it's a unique kind of apple, I guess, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of tart, that's only really grown mostly in this area. All right, so we'll talk about our day trip. And the first thing we did was checking out the West County Regional Trail. And this is a bike trail that goes from Sebastopol, California to Forestville. And along the lines of the railroads, these were abandoned railroad trails. So the railroads used to go from Santa Rosa to Sebastopol, down to Petaluma, and up to Forestville. And both the West County Trail and the Joe Rodata Trail, its sister trail, were repurposed from the old abandoned railroads.
Oh, wait. So the Joe Rodata Trail was a railroad?
Used to be.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And they were abandoned back in like the 1980s and then kind of sat there until I think it was around the early 2000s that they decided to kind of repurpose everything. And one of the cool things about the trail is it has a special designation as being a community millennium trail, which it comes from literally, it got the designation in the year 2000. So literally at the millennium from the first lady at the time, Hillary Clinton. And she took all these different trails around the country. And to get this designation, you have to be one that she felt like would help the people and the communities that they're a part of. So it has that special designation. And it's definitely something, no matter what time of year, you're always going to see people out walking, biking, pretty much anything that you can kind of do on a trail. So I feel like both trails are actually pretty widely used.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing about it is it's a really nice trail. It's really nice. Probably one of the nicest trails that we've seen around Sonoma. But you have to cross a few roads, and you have to ride along the side of a highway to get to the other part.
Yeah,
and that's the only downside to this trail. Especially like if you want to bring your children and stuff like that, it's doable. But children of a certain age, I would say maybe 5 or 6, it might be a little challenging just because you have to ride on the side of the road.
Yeah, and this, even though it wasn't the first time that we had ridden the trail, because we've done it like maybe one other time when our daughter was younger. This was the first time that she was old enough, she's now 8, to be on her own bike, not in like the bike seat on the back of my bike. So this was the first time that we really let her spread her wings a little bit on the bike and have enough freedom to really do those portions on the side of the road.
I think I was extremely nervous for her, because one, she's got is that a 10 speed now that she has? No, not quite. I think
it's not quite.
A 9 or 8 speed, whatever, that switches gears. So it's like, I'm nervous because she's just now getting used to switching gears. and she's just now literally like, I think this was her second time on the bike or third time on the bike.
Yeah, it was pretty.
So like she's
new
never
for
used
her.
hand brakes before. So like that was a little nerve wracking a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like we are pretty protective of her to begin with. So it was like one parent leading the way and the other parent in the back, like making sure that she like stayed far enough to the side of the road to not like even be remotely close to another car when we had to be on the part of the road. But we chose this because we love getting outside with the kids, and they're both, I feel like, pretty high energy kids. So biking is one way that we can kind of tire them both out. And Noah's still young enough where he's still in the bike seat. But the nice thing about these trails is that they have benches and everything along the way. So we were able to we didn't make it all the way to Forestville to the end of the trail. But where we did stop was at a bench, and we could kind of let him get out and explore. And that was actually pretty fun to like bring snacks. And then they were just literally like running around in the trees and off the side of the trail.
Yeah, but before you get to that, you go past it's like an organic farm, not farm, but an organic like
Market.
What is that? Can you look that up real quick to see? I don't know if you can grab that real fast, but I've always wanted to go there. But it's actually on the trail, which you could easily stop and grab fruit and take it on a little picnic, because there's multiple places to stop. There's a huge field that we stopped at further down towards I don't even know, did we ever get to the end of the trail?
No, we didn't. Not quite.
No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, look that up. See, what's the name of that market? Because it's open it's open year round. Every single day I feel like it's open. If not, we can look at it later. Yeah, just find it later. But I thought that's a really nice thing too, like going past that organic market, and then you could stop there on your bike. I see a lot of people stop there on their bikes too, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, we definitely, like, there were people, like, as we were getting ready to bike by that were, like, coming out of the parking lot on their bikes.
Yeah.
And that first portion is kind of the downhill, easier part. That was the other part that I was nervous about, knowing we were going to have to come back uphill when we were on our way back to where we had parked. And I thought Olivia, because her threshold for getting to the point of complaining is still pretty low. So I really thought that she was going to complain, but luckily she didn't. It was more on Ryan.
Well, okay, because I have issues with my heart, so it's like my heart rate can only go so high before I start having heart palpitations. So yeah, I mean,
but it still was fun, and it was just the longest we've been out on the bikes in a long time, because this was the first time too that we've really been out with Noah, like, to bike ride for an extended period of time. Everything else has just been kind of like around the neighborhood. I think the other like interesting thing, just to highlight how sometimes small Sonoma County can be, was how we ran into Olivia's friend's grandmother.
Oh yeah.
So there's this girl that she's been actually in school with since she was like 3, and they were in preschool and daycare together, and now go to the same elementary school. And we just happened to run into her grandmother and her friend out on bike trails. They were like taking pictures of us when we stopped. So that was kind of cool. You never think that you're going to like run into somebody's grandmother on the bike trail.
Yeah.
As far as logistics, and if you want to check out the area, it was actually pretty easy to access too. We parked at Annalee High School, which is one of the high schools in Sebastopol, and literally right across the street is the trail access point. So we just parked, and obviously it's on the weekend, so nobody from the school is there, and you just cross right over the street and are right there on the trail. And it's free. And I know we're lucky to live in this area where we have our own bikes. But if you're coming to visit Sonoma County and you don't travel with your bike, there's a Sebastopol Bike Center that does rentals to where you could for the day, kind of rent a bike and take it out to the trails
Yeah.
and not have to worry about lugging your bike. Is there anything else that you found interesting about the trails? Share?
I don't know. Not really. I think you ride past a water plant, right? Like a water filtration plant.
We did at one point, yeah, kind of towards the end, about as far out as we went.
Yeah, and I know it go. Now, does that go through a community? Like where because when you get to that water plant there, and then you keep going, it's like there's houses on both sides of you at this point.
I don't know if we're all the way in Forestville at that point, but it definitely, like, I think that's part of the draw to those trails is like it does go through like farm areas and
Oh yeah, it
stuff.
definitely yeah.
But I'm not sure if we were all the way in Forestville by that point.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the only thing I would mention too, like I said before, you do have to ride on the side of the highway or the side of the road. It's not a highway, but you also have to. It's a little confusing at one point where you have to go through the town a little bit, and then we have to turn left at that stop sign. I can't remember the roads though. But remember, it's like hard to if you don't know where you're going, you will miss the next part of the trail there.
Oh yeah, because coming back, I
Yeah.
definitely went too far.
Yeah. See, we've done it multiple times, and we even got confused about it. So
But there's pretty good signage. It's just like you said, if you're on a bike
Yeah.
and not paying attention,
you have
then-
to pay attention. Once you get further into that trail, you have to pay attention. I would say you have to pay attention to two sections because they're not on the trail. You have to go through the town a little bit to get to that other part of the trail.
Yep.
Yeah, but other than that, I think it's a great trail.
Yeah.
I actually just like the Joe Rodata Trail to Sebastopol. To me, that's the best part of the best trail because it goes through the farmlands too, and I like to eat. So
Oh yeah, it's like depending on what you want to do. Because Forestville, I know we didn't make it all the way down there, but they also because that's what we did when Olivia was younger. We stopped there, got at the end, and ate food, and then rode our bike back. So.
Oh, was that the place? Oh yeah. We stopped. What
It was
food
like
was that?
brunch. I forget now. It's
Yeah,
been
because
so
I know
long.
it was like you had to go inside of like a brick fence. I don't know if it was a metal fence, and then
Yeah.
the restaurant was right in there. Yeah, we had brunch. Yeah.
But so they're both, but then at least from Santa Rosa, which it's easier because we can actually start from our house and get to the trails. But there's obviously food to eat in Sebastopol too. All right,
Really good food.
Yes,
Pretty good. Yeah. The Barlow was amazing.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Barlow a little bit later.
Okay, go ahead.
The next thing that we did was to go to Florence Street in Sebastopol, and there's an artist. His name is Patrick Amiot, and he's married to Bridget Lauren, and they are artists that have kind of, I don't know if it's small town famous or a little bit more than just small town famous for their junk art. And they're actually Canadian, and he kind of got his start when he came down from Canada. He was originally doing clay art, and nobody, at least in the United States, was super interested in his clay art. So then he was trying to find a different medium to work with and ended up with the junk art. And after he started kind of putting all these junk art pieces in his yard, he noticed that people would like slow down when they drive by his house and kind of check it out. And eventually his neighbors kind of got interested in it. So he's now commissioned art to like all of his neighbors where they have pieces of his work in their yard. And across like this whole street, you can just walk up and down and kind of check out. So this was nice because it didn't take us super long. It only took about 45 minutes to an hour. Of like an in-between activity to do. And I know for me, at least, now that Olivia's getting a little bit older, trying to find activities that actually have like a learning component. Like we haven't done a lot of museums or things as family together. So trying to like at least get her a little bit interested in it to where, we expand her horizons. Like that's what, to me, we're supposed to do as parents is expose her to things that she wouldn't do otherwise. And then parking wise, it was actually pretty easy to get to because we just parked in the neighborhood and walked over to where Florence Street was. We parked on Dutton Street, so it was literally like a 2-minute walk from where we parked. And then we just were able to kind of stroll through and take a look. I feel like the funnest part was like looking at each of the individual pieces and trying to figure out exactly what he had used to make that art piece and put it together.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to parking, I still find it weird. Okay, because it's in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I find it extremely weird to park in front of people's houses, because in North Carolina, that's a no. If you want somebody to come out and cuss your butt out,
yeah.
park in front of their house.
Yeah.
Even though it's not illegal, it's weird. But it's not weird here in California.
Yeah.
Well, because we live in a cul-de-sac, so it's like we're like right there in the turn of the cul-de-sac. So there's people that park in front of my house all the time. I just remember like not being able to sleep for a long time when we first moved into this house, because I'm like, who the hell car is this? Because I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. If you're not from California, you just park in front of somebody's house, basically.
Yeah. Or you can do like we did and park around the corner close to the elementary school and not feel like you're going to have somebody come out of their house.
well, we still park beside someone's house. But I felt like it was like right there on the edge of where it was like close to their house, but it wasn't like right there in front of their house.
Yep. To where they're going to feel like you're like about to come up to their house.
Yeah.
But then we kind of strolled around, and what was your favorite piece?
Probably the motorcycle with the skeleton on it. Yeah.
Mine, they have like this, I feel like it's a mom, but she's like juggling all these like food items and stuff, and she looks like she's running like 1,000 miles an hour. So that struck home with me. I feel like, ironically, Olivia's favorite one was the crow bar, and it was literally a bar with crow birds sitting at it, and she just thought it was the funniest thing that one of them was like drunk laying with their head down on the bar. She thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
But it definitely was just something to kind of get the kids out, and Noah got out and walked and didn't take up too much of our time. Anything else that you want to share about the art walk?
No, it was cool. I liked a lot of the art. I think he has more stuff around Santa Rosa, I think. Because like I told you before, I saw one of his pieces on Santa Rosa Avenue. It was a predator.
Oh, yeah. And he does, like, even where we were at, like, there was stuff at the fire station. Yeah. And, like, when you're going from Sebastopol to Santa Rosa, there's a big cow, literally, where the cows are. That's his artwork, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that you can kind of, even if you are just driving around, you might see some of his art. And I feel like he captures the essence of Sebastopol because it's, like, a little bit hippie, a little bit eclectic.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. I get that vibe from Sebastopol. Yeah. I think between Sebastopol and Petaluma, I feel like it's super hippie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely get that vibe from Sebastopol.
It's literally like farm areas, so you kind of get the.
Yeah.
And then after we checked out the art, the next piece was to go to the winery, which was probably one of the more fun things. So the winery I picked for us to go to was Furthermore Wines, and it's just on the north side of town in Sebastopol, where Gravenstein Highway meets Vine Hill Road. And it doesn't have a super exciting story. It was literally of like how it got started. It was literally just two friends that started learning about wine, and then they were like, well, why don't we start our own winery? And their, I guess, niche area is that they are super passionate about Pinot Noirs, and then all of their grapes are grown on the coast. So they, whether it's from like Southern California all the way up to our area, they're all coastal grapes, and they get excited about the different ways that the ground and the coastal environment impacts how the grapes are made into wine.
It's all nasty to me, so it don't matter. So, anyways.
It is delicious. Just don't listen to him when it comes to wine. The reason I picked that one for the kids was because it doesn't have like kid-friendly stuff to do like what we did at Belden Barns, where it's like tailored to kids, but there's an outdoor area with lots of chairs, tables. They have a big tree, and they have a bocce ball court, which it was also winter here and kind of towards the end of the day. So I'm sure it's probably a little bit busier in the summertime, but we had that outdoor area all to ourselves because nobody else wanted to do the tasting outside the same way that we did. So,
well, I mean, it was what, 45, 50 degrees?
Yeah, it was.
Which doesn't mean a lot to us because, I mean,
we're from
a
colder area than this.
Yeah, North Carolina gets like down in the 30s every single day. Even though it does get down in the 30s here.
Yeah,
sometimes.
In the mornings.
In the mornings, yeah.
But we kind of had free reign, which was perfect because then the kids could kind of just run around, and Noah's going from chair to chair to chair. And then Olivia just played with the bocce ball court. They also have, we were in Sebastopol, so we went to the winery, but they have a tasting lounge in Healdsburg that has live music. So if the kind of live music is more your vibe, then that would probably be pretty fun, especially then if the kids are loud and everything, it doesn't matter because there's music around. For the logistics of checking it out, the tasting was about $30 a person, and it's like a lot of other wineries. If you buy 2 or more bottles, then they waive some of the tasting fees, and their bottles run about $50 a piece. So it's probably mid-range, like not super expensive, but not super cheap either. But they are smaller vineyards, so I think it's kind of like craft beer. Like they're a little bit more crafty with their wines that they put together. It's not like a large scale place. And the tasting we did was a mix of the Pinot Noirs that they're known for and the white wines that they had. So we did they had a sparkling wine and a Chardonnay, and then we tried some of their Pinots. And the Chardonnay was probably one of my favorites because it was not super oaky and like a little, but still had the buttery flavor and a little bit more cleaner compared to some of the other Chardonnays that I've had. So that was pretty good. And
which one did we buy?
We ended up buying the Alchemy, the 2017 Alchemy, which was their most expensive bottle of wine, but we decided we're going to save it for a special occasion.
No, you decided. And I just don't argue because I don't really want to drink it anyway. So,
well, it's like a balance. Like it's a bottle of wine. There's no food or sustenance to it. It's hard to spend that much money just for something to drink. How many
bottles of wine do you have in there?
Like 5, but most of them are probably $5 from Trader Joe's.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Hey, did you finish just the wine from the other place?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I've had one glass of that, of the last place we went to.
Yeah.
And a sip of one, and I poured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Wine is not my thing.
But I also feel like the tasting was really nice because we were outside, and the guy's name is Reef, I think, was the person like running the tasting there that day. And he did a pretty good job of giving us space to like hang out with the kids and just like leisurely drink the wine and then come back out.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously him pairing the wine with the foods, giving us the background, not the background, but the pairing of the wines with the food was pretty interesting too.
Yeah.
He definitely made it seem like he was a chef.
Yeah, but in my kind of research for the episode, I did see some of that information on the website with like the flavor profiles and some
Yeah.
food suggestions. So I think part of it's probably stuff he's memorized from and doing it for so long.
Yeah. Is he? Well, I don't know. Does he just work there, or is he maybe one of the owners?
No, he's not one of the owners. Because I definitely I forget their names, but it's not him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, that was probably one of the nicest places we've gone to. It's that to me, I feel like it was more kid friendly than what was the barn place?
Belden Barnes.
Belden Barnes. The Belden Barnes was okay, but it was more catered to just farming, in my opinion. And like kids' activity was an afterthought. Where with this, there was an actual whatever that game was called.
The bocce ball.
Yeah, I feel like kids would enjoy that. Get to throw around those little balls.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of chairs. I mean, there's not a lot of space as far as empty space, empty grass, open fields. There's none of that.
Yeah.
It's just like designated sitting areas.
Yeah.
Which to me is fine.
Yeah, at least for us where like Noah's younger and like we said, he was perfectly happy climbing up and down on every single chair.
Yeah.
So it works out, and like running around and hugging the big tree, like they were perfectly content. Anything else to talk about with the winery?
No.
The last thing we did was to get something to eat. And for that, we went to the Barlow. And we did try a place that has been on my list for a while, but we just have never really made it to this restaurant. It's called the Blue Ridge Kitchen. And it's technically like farm to table, California, Southern is how I would describe it. But I know you have opinions of whether or not they really serve Southern food.
None of this stuff in California is Southern food. Like I've mentioned before, true Southern food would have gravies and fried chicken. Like that's Southern food. And like their fried chicken obviously is different than fried chicken in the South.
Yeah.
Like Southern food is heavily seasoned. That's the difference between California food. It's seasoned. Now, don't get me wrong, it's seasoned, but we use different seasonings.
Yeah, I agree with that. Or
So,
even
like
whenever I've gotten like biscuits and gravy out here, like
yeah, it's gonna taste totally different. So to me, it's like I just hate for people in California to think they're tasting true Southern food when they're truly not.
yeah.
True Southern food will be heavily seasoned, and it will taste nothing like you've ever tasted here in California. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I'm not 200 pounds for no reason. I know food, and I know taste.
So California Southern fusion food would be
Sure, that's more like a. I just don't like the only place that's close to Southern food is Sweet Teas up here in Windsor, and that's because they do have fried chicken and they do have barbecue. I mean, it's a barbecue place, but yeah, all like they have sweet tea.
Yeah.
Like you can't call yourself
Actual
a Southern.
sweet tea.
Yeah, you can't call yourself a Southern place if you don't have sweet tea.
Yeah.
Don't say Southern food, just say fusion.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have sweet tea, that's automatic no. If you ain't got sweet tea and lemonade on your menu, you're not Southern. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But this was one place, and when I was looking at the list of restaurants in the Barlow, this was probably one of the few that we haven't been to yet.
Yeah.
In case this isn't up your alley as far as things to try, one of our favorite places is probably the taco place. It's called Barrio Cocina Mexicana.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, their street tacos are literally the best street tacos I've ever tasted in my life.
I mean, they're like a lot too. They're big.
Yeah. And I know you have your places that you like here in Santa Rosa, but Sebastopol, that street tacos they have at that place, by far is the best tacos I've ever had in my life. And I'm not even kidding. It's not even close. But anyway,
you're more excited to talk about that than the actual place that we went out to eat.
Because it wasn't Southern food, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fancy food.
It's fancy food, which is why we haven't made it out there yet. But they also have an ice cream place. It's called Two Dog Night Creamery. We've done that a couple of times, like more so during the summer.
Yeah.
We checked out, this again is more fancy food, a sandwich place called The Farmer's Wife. Remember when we went there? This was like I got like something with bacon and peach stuff. It was like the grilled sandwich.
When did we go there?
Like probably maybe 3 or 4 months ago. It's like in between the taco place and the ice cream place. It's that place in the middle.
Oh, yeah. What did I get?
I
don't remember either. Must not have been good. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. It probably was good. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
Because I love the taco place.
Yeah. There's a pizza place too, the Acre Pizza. We've done that some, and then we've eaten to go from the sushi place.
Yeah.
It's called Kosho's Sushi, but that was during the pandemic.
Okay, yeah, because it's a decent place, but it's not my favorite place to go get sushi.
Yeah.
By far.
Well, I feel like too, like because we haven't sat down and ate in there, like we haven't done it justice, just because we haven't really like looked at their menu and.
Well, that might be true. Yeah. Okay.
Because they revamped their menu recently too. I saw something, but that's
okay.
So we've literally eaten at like 80% of the restaurants at the Barlow. 80.
Huh?
8. We've eaten at 80.
No, you said eaten. What's eaten?
I said eaten.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And the Barlow's nice because most of their restaurants they have that indoor outdoor where like they can kind of open up.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing I love about the Barlow. Everything is indoor outdoor seating.
Yeah, and they made it from like old agriculture. So like they really have tried, I feel like in Sebastopol, to take like these old buildings or like the trails where they were the old railroads and like repurpose them and to this like place where there's the things we haven't done there are like the wine tasting or the tasting rooms there and like the distilleries and like the more like not food related type things. But it's nice. It's also fun. We've done the Joe Rodata Trail over there, and they have places you can lock your bikes, and then there's open spaces where the kids can run around. So it's definitely a fun place, just in general, not just at Blue Ridge Kitchen where we went on this day. This was probably one of our best eating out experiences since we've had both kids. They sat us in a corner booth, and the service was actually pretty quick. So I feel like that's been our biggest thing with Noah ever since he was born, was like getting to eat and enjoy our food before he has a like complete meltdown and we can't keep him entertained long enough. So I feel like our food was brought out and we like finished our meal before that full meltdown happened.
Yeah. Well, he has a love for French fries, and luckily they have French fries on the menu. So
yep,
I think he was entertained by Bluey, and he had something he actually wanted to eat.
Yep.
So lucky us.
Yeah, exactly.
Any place that has French fries is an A-OK for us.
Yeah, and that's one thing. They don't have a true like kids menu because it is fancy food.
Yeah.
But they had a hamburger that they made plain for Olivia, and then they both enjoyed the French fries. So it worked out where it's not a kids menu type place, but they have options.
I don't even remember the dish I got.
Yeah.
And what did you get?
I got the Cajun shrimp pasta.
Oh, yeah.
Which
I should have just got that.
I feel like whenever we don't end up getting the same thing, one of us ends up disappointed when we go out.
Yeah.
But this I picked because back in the day when we first started dating and we would go to Chili's, we would get their Cajun chicken pasta.
Yeah.
And it was shrimp, but it was definitely creamy sauce and I enjoyed it. So
yeah. I just remember I didn't like the sauce. Whatever the sauce was on, I don't even know what meat I had. It definitely wasn't chicken, so it had to be beef or something.
Yeah.
Was it beef? No, it was fish. No, you were right. You were
I
right.
was right. Yeah,
It was fish, and I don't know what fish it was, but it had some weird tasting sauce on it, and had carrots and a bunch of things in it. I just remember the sauce being like throwing the whole dish off
Yeah.
because like it overpowered the whole dish.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like, especially when you eat seafood, like you want that clean, like simple flavor profile. So the fish is highlighted in what you're eating.
Yeah. Like when I think of like eating a dish, like it's either in like a stew, like the way they did it, but it's more savory,
Yeah.
or it's something that's like creamy, like a chowder or something.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah.
But I feel like overall the food was pretty good.
It was okay. I feel like we need to go back because I need to get something different.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in my dish because I feel like I said, the whatever sauce they put on it, because it was a sauce they put on top of it. So it was in the liquid itself, which the liquid tastes really good with the fish and the carrots. But it was just a sauce they put on top that was just too much. So, but I think we need to go back because I was disappointed, but I did see things on the menu that I thought would taste really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not super fancy. We're saying fancy, but because it's fancy for us with kids. But it was like $25 to $40 for like a meal. Which
I mean, they had a bar too, so like they had a bar to sit down at. So it's not that fancy.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not Southern food.
Yeah.
That ain't Southern food.
Well, that's okay.
Even
still
fancy
good.
Southern, I wouldn't even consider that fancy Southern. But
yeah, like I said, it's farm to table, so it's really probably fusion.
Oh, yeah.
But
I want that. I really want to try that Cajun shrimp pasta.
It was good.
Was it spicy?
A little bit, because and then it had bacon in it too, and I feel like
man, got my mouth watering. Okay, stop talking about this. Let's keep going.
We saved the best for last with talking about food.
Yeah, but it's like, what time is it? It's 10:30 at night, and you
talking about food. I
can't even eat anymore. I don't even want to. No, okay, go ahead.
The other thing about the Barlow that makes it easy is there's tons of parking. So even like if we don't ride our bikes,
they have it's not a supermarket, but they have a grocery store right there that has a huge parking lot, and you can park there.
And they have I can't remember if we didn't have to park there that day, but they have overflow parking too. That's like right across the street where you know it's still close by.
Yeah, we saw it when we went there for one night for dinner.
Yeah, we've parked there before, but when it's like summertime and they're a little bit busier. But anything else to talk about the Barlow, since that's probably one of our favorite places and things to do in Sebastopol?
No, I mean, other than you can get there from Santa Rosa without even driving. That's the cool thing about it. I mean, that's my favorite thing to do, even when I'm by myself or with you guys, just to ride my bike down to Sebastopol and go to the taco place or get ice cream. I have taken, me and Kyan went down there, my nephew. We rode the scooters down there and got ice cream one time.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice place. I love going there anytime we go. I just love to go, period. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. Other than that, no, nothing else.
Well, I feel like we had a really good day in Sebastopol, though, doing all these things. Like I said, even though they're a small town, there's plenty of stuff to do and kind of entertain yourself.
I just wish Santa Rosa had something like that. I wish they would create a place like that here in Santa Rosa.
Yeah, but I feel like Santa Rosa is so much bigger. Like it's harder to find.
But we have decent trails that take you to different spots. I just feel like we need something like that here in Santa Rosa. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind riding the Joe Rodota Trail or Rodata. I wish I knew how to say that.
Yeah.
We've been here for 6 years and I still don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
Rodota or Rodata, whatever it is. I don't mind doing that just to get to Sebastopol because it's a beautiful trail to get down there. But, man, I just wish Santa Rosa would have that for some reason.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we've inspired you to check out Sebastopol as much as we love going down there and checking it out. And we will see you guys on the next episode, and you'll have to wait and see where we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Peace.